Welcome again, everybody. If whoever's going to be tech, you could make Anisha, thank you, read my mind. So I want to find Anisha's picture here so I can connect with her. Speak up, Anisha, so I can see you. If you're here yet, I know you're here. I see your name.
I'm here, Jim.
Yay. Hey, Anisha. So I'm really glad to welcome Anisha to be the next presenter. She'll be sharing something about sharing power, which is using sharing now 3 times in the same sentence. So I'm really glad that you're here, Anisha. And I want to let you all know that I met Anisha for the first time about 4 years ago. When we got an unexpected call and opportunity to go participate in the international intensive training in Sri Lanka. And Anisha came there from India and became part of our community for that wonderful 9-day period. I've been to a lot of IITs, and that was a particularly special one because here we were in Sri Lanka, which not very long before this IIT was just coming out of the throes of the Civil War. And here we all were together focusing on peace. And one of the things I noticed about that IIT, and thus its nickname, was that between sessions, groups of people would sing on their way to the next session. So there was always a joyous song going on. And also, there was another very unique moment during that IIT when my dear friend Anisha spoke up about a conflict that was alive in her. And she was really, it really touched me, your honesty, Anisha, and your courage to speak up in the face of your own unmet needs without blame or criticism. So I can't wait to hear what you have to share with us today about sharing power. So please take it from here.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you for your kind words and your very generous appreciation. Hi, friends. And namaste from India. And I am just right now feeling such giddy excitement in my body to be able to be here on this platform with all of you all from different parts of the world. And I'm really hoping to contribute to the needs of learning, growth, supporting my dear friend, my mentor, Jim, and really celebrating the launch of his book. So I am looking forward to how we are going to uncover this topic of shared power, because this is something that's very close to my heart. And I request you all and urge you all to please go ahead and use this as an opportunity to buy as many books as you all can, and gift it to your friends, because this is the way that we could support CNVC. Puddle Press and Jim have been very, very generous, and they do want to contribute and support CNVC right now. So that'll be very kind of you all. Jim, can I request one of them to just paste the link?
Yes, Jen will do that for you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Yeah. So that's my request and invitation. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to take a breath and tune into this topic. So I have named my workshop Up and Down, and it's called Exploring Power, Rank, and Privilege. So when I began my journey with NVC, I fell in love with it. I said, this is such an amazing tool of an amazing way of relating to people when there are differences, when there are conflicts, when there's disconnection. And as I started reading further, attending IITs, getting trained by different people, I started having a high dream. I've always had this huge passion for creating a world which values equity and social justice and power is really shared. And the deeper I went into NVC, I thought it was such a gift. And maybe in my little brown head, it felt like possibly the only option in my head to be able to move towards that dream of mine. Because when I look at the world around, while I do have this faith that each of us does want to share power, each of us does believe in equality and justice, and yet hierarchy is a social reality. So while we may hold the value of shared power, up and down is a reality of life. And what I mean by up and down is I'm trying to signify how certain people, because of the rank and privileges that they hold, seem to have more power than others. Now, whether it may be in terms of a parent-child relationship, an employee and a boss relationship, or whether we would look at more systemic issues around racism, classism, sexism, sexuality. There are certain segments of society that are considered as up, and there are certain segments that are considered as down. So given this social reality, how do we dip deep into our NVC consciousness? And how do we create this platform of shared power, not despite the differences in our social status, but because of it? How can we create this equal dance? And that's my dream. And I recognize that for me, while I had this dream, I had to do so much of work on myself, and I still am a work in progress, because there are so many areas of my life where I do feel like an up. The fact that I can be here among you all fine people and talk about this topic, I think there is some upness there to be able to even stand here and present. And there are some areas in my life where I feel like a down. So I am a work in progress, and I'm constantly looking at, am I aware of my upness moment to moment? And am I aware of those moments when I slip into my downness, when I recognize fear encompassing me, when I sometimes experience anger and activism taking over me, where I want to wrong somebody else? So I'm acutely aware of that. And for me, Jim, I think I again want to take this opportunity to thank you, because the matrix and the way Jim has defined the skill of shared power has become like my North Star. Each time I catch myself feeling uptight or in a tough situation, I see how I'm able to go back to the matrix and do my journaling and look at what can I do differently now. So I just want to take a pause for now. And I want to invite you all to just take a minute and examine your own relationship with your upness and your downness. I repeat, I'm inviting you to take a moment and just reflect on the areas in your life where you feel like an up, where you feel like you really have more power simply because of the rank or the privileges that you have or your status, and the areas in your life, moments in your life where you really felt like a down. We just want to write it down or take a note of it somewhere. I'm also feeling the urge to share an example also from my life where I feel like an up or a down. And would that serve you all right now? Would that help? I'm seeing some nods. So the areas in my life where I feel like an up is when I'm a parent. As a parent, I think I really have more power over my son. I really feel like an up. My educational background, I'm a practicing psychotherapist, and I do feel like an up because of my professional identity. In my country, I also have the rank of being a Brahmin, which is a caste, the uppermost caste in India. So that's also a rank that I have. I also feel an up because I seem to fit the physical size of what's considered healthy and fit in my country. So these are some of the areas where I feel like an up, and I'm sure there are many others, but I'm just speaking about the few that are coming to my mind right now. Some other areas where I feel like a down. So I have a history, I've had a history of violence and abuse. So I recognize that because of that history, when I am faced with a situation where there is a lot of high volume used, and especially by men, for some moments, I just blank out. It's almost as if my body has kept the score of all the violence, and I still tend to go blank. So I see that how my history, the trauma by itself results in me feeling like a down, because I know some of my friends who are absolutely fine with anybody shouting or doing anything. So that's one area. The other area where I felt like a down is when I'm working in international communities. Sometimes I feel like a down on the grounds of being a woman, especially when I'm surrounded by a bunch of white men. That's the area where I feel like a down, regardless of, it's not about what they have done or not, but it's about what I feel inside. And on the lighter note, I also feel like a down when I'm standing around people who are very tall, because I'm just 5 feet and 1 inch. I stand around people who are very tall. I feel like a damn. So is this giving you some idea of what I mean? Are you all done with your reflections, friends? Is it okay for me to go ahead? Great. So I'm just going to share my screen with you all. Just a minute. My laptop has decided to act naughty. Just give me a minute, please. There it goes. It's now a good boy. Can you all see my screen, friends?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Up and down, exploring power, rank, and privilege. Now, at this moment, I want to go to Jim's matrix and the way he has defined this skill. He's defined shared power as transforming domination, valuing everyone's needs with mutuality and respect, transcending submission and rebellion. I repeat, the way this skill is defined in this matrix is transforming domination. Now, what do I mean by that? Or what do I understand by what Jim means really is, as I was speaking a while ago about up and down being part of our social reality. So because of the sheer nature of the rank and privileges that certain segments in the society hold, there is a possibility of domination. Whether as a mother, it's about me dominating my son, or sometimes as a boss, dominating my assistant, or even the other way around, me getting dominated by my parents, or me getting dominated by somebody that I'm working for, or feeling dominated. I need to correct myself, thinking that I'm getting dominated. So how do I transform that? How do I move to a space where instead of this kind of conversations, it becomes this kind of engagement? And I don't know if you all can see me on the screen, but I'm making some hand gestures where this top-down communication and hierarchical communication, I'm able to shift and move towards a space of communicating as equals. And in the context of NVC, it's not about calling out and saying, hey, you're being dominating, you bugger, I'm not going to take the shit. It's not about that. It's how do I engage with the NVC consciousness so that this power differentials can turn to this. At the other level, it's valuing everyone's need with mutuality and respect. Trying to identify what are the parties involved really feeling and needing, and really moving beyond the field of the right and wrong and upholding everybody's dignity. And the third is transcending submission and rebellion, going beyond that. Because till we keep doing that, if we are submissive or if we are rebelling, we are continuing in that power dynamic of the up and the down. Because then what we are fighting with is systemic oppression. And we are fighting with the role. and not accounting for the human being behind the rank, not accounting for the fact that even people who apparently are in the position of power may be having some unmet needs, maybe having some fears. So I just want to again take a pause, friends. And I just want to check, is the definition making sense to you? If anybody for whom this definition is not making sense, just put in the chat box and I could spend some more time explaining it. It's clear? Okay.
Anisha?
Thank you. Yes, Jaya.
Yeah, this and I have a sense sometimes when there is a power hierarchy and I am the more open one, even when I am the higher one, I feel the upness and there is a downness, but I am an envisian, like I am the more willing one. And the one in the down has got this sense of victimhood, and there is a constant kind of I feel that I'm submitting somewhere because that person feels that there is a power domination, and I am constantly kind of trying to give in and trying to adjust and try to flow, trying to do that, and I feel I'm doing the submission eventually, and there's a lot of manipulation and a lot of other things happening when there is somebody who's like a victim and can constantly rake up an issue and create that imbalance in the relationship. And so I'm also noticing that even with the privilege of an upness, I can feel the downness of that. And is with a child, in fact, with a child, because I've seen the things turn over when my kids grew up and the way they wanted me to listen to them or do things for them or bring back. I would say I have a motherhood psychosis instead of childhood psychosis, because they would bring up so much that you did this, you did that. And there is a moment of that. How much do I give in? How much do I submit? I just wanted to bring that. It's coming alive in me. Thank you.
Yeah, and Jaya, I can't tell you how delighted I am that you're sharing this. And I'm delighted not at your suffering, but in fact, I can relate to what you're talking as a parent. But I'm delighted that you're bringing this up because that almost creates a segue for what I want to be saying next. As you very beautifully said, Jaya, that the visible upness or the downness is the tip of the iceberg. At any given point in time, one may be feeling up, or what is being seen as an up. Internally, the person may be feeling down, and the same can be true vice versa. And I'd like to, quote Dr. Stephen Kaufman, who was the originator of the drama triangle. Are you all familiar with the three roles, my friends? Persecutor, victim, and rescuer. So I'll just quickly explain. Persecutor is the one who is seen as having an upness. He is the villain, being the nasty one. Yeah. Victim is somebody who is in a powerless space, who is not in touch with his or her own resources. In jackal language, the one who's placed, oh, poor me. Yeah. And the rescuer, again, is the one who has more power because they can come in and save the apparent victim. Now, Dr. Kaufman has beautifully said that each of the three roles that you see people playing are the tip of the iceberg. What he said is that at any given point in time, in every conflict, each of the individuals are playing all the three roles. So, for example, I'll give you a very quick example. I go out and I recognize that my husband is scolding my son for wasting his food. And my son is just looking down with tears welled up in his eyes because daddy's volume has gone high. And I come out and I say, my God, it's okay if he just, tasted a morsel. Do we really need to shout at him like that? This is so not okay. Now, very clearly in this whole triangle, my my son becomes the victim, my husband becomes the so-called persecutor, and I come in as the rescuer. But if you see, and I'll just not explain all the three positions, but just to honor what Jaya is saying, I'll try to explain my husband's stance here. Now, on the face of it, he's the one who's shouting and raising his volume. But internally, my husband was raised in a lower socioeconomic background. Like, he's really worked very hard to reach wherever he is in his life, and he really knows what it means to be hungry. So for him, not wasting food is like a real value. Respecting food is real value. And he's repeatedly requested my son and told him that please take only little food, eat only how much ever you can eat, don't take more. But my son continues to do that. So you see, internally, while my husband was shouting, internally, he's so hurt, he's so upset, he's probably not feeling seen. So internally, he was feeling like a victim. And at the other level, he was also wanting to rescue my son because he wants to make my son more aware of what's going on in the world. He wants to make my son be more respectful towards food and recognize that there are millions of people who are dying hungry. So he wants him to make a good man out of him. So you see how he's actually playing all three roles? So I just took that little switch to support what you were saying, Jaya. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And if that's okay for you, friends, I'd now like to go to the matrix. Would that be okay? One minute. Can you all see my screen, friends? Okay. So this is the matrix and the skill at one go. But I'm going to explain each of this one by one, that when it comes to shared power, how does one know where we are at any given point in time? And how does one move through this? How does one move from the space of anger and resentment and having this sense of either feeling like a down or an up to feeling more like an equal? Yeah. So here is it. Here is the matrix at one glance, but I'll now take up one by one. The first one is unskilled, where you have no knowledge of skill. You have no awareness of the concept of shared power. The relationships are really based on domination and submission. There's lust for a hoarding power. And I must confess that before I was introduced to this topic of shared power, and while at a philosophical and value level, I did speak about my passion for social equity, unless I had to pay a price. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, social equity power has to be shared out there. But what about me? What about when I find myself in difficult situations? And I saw myself swinging, friends. When I was in situations of power, I would see myself initially just being extra nice, being extra kind, and then recognizing this resentment building in me, because the longing was for cooperation, the longing was for effectiveness. And when I wouldn't get that, then I would just end up raising my volume. And that's particularly true in my relationship with my son. And even in spaces where I thought that I had maybe, let's say, less power, where I felt in my country, I come from India, where it's a very patriarchal culture. So I saw myself getting hooked into this kind of fights. And in the name of feminism, I had this man-hating, bra-burning activism But I constantly saw myself getting into loggerheads around women's rights. And I would be seen as this angry, mad woman or somebody who would just keep quiet and cry. So that's where I saw myself. Before I go there, is this first stage clear to everybody, friends? Am I going fast or this is okay?
You're perfect.
Okay. Thank you. The second is awakening, like becoming aware of the skill. What we would also call as conscious incompetence. I said, okay, I recognize how I don't know how to do this. Becoming aware of domination and submission and of possibilities of relating with mutuality. I think this is also the time when I started seeing, and I remember Kamala Bhasan, a very prominent feminist in India, she said that men are equal victims of patriarchy. When I was able to see the human being behind the behavior and recognize my own patterns of submission, fear, and aggression, I still didn't know what to do about it. But I said, okay, I found myself scratching my curly hair and saying, okay, something doesn't seem to be working here and I don't know how to do it. But I recognize that something must be done differently over here. Capable, able to use the skill with effort. So now consciously, you're using skills. So I recognize that I was this new giraffe baby, and I think I still am. I wouldn't call myself having fully arrived. So I would consciously use the NVC and the OFNR model. But I'd be aware of my own submission or my attempts to dominate. And I recognize that each time I found myself in a submissive position or this rebellious position, I would often begin by empathizing with whoever I'm seeing as my persecutor or whoever I'm perceiving as having more power than me. So basically, humanizing them. So the empathy and the NVC OFNR model really has come to my support. And the moments when I saw myself really wanting to push down my way, like those moments when I'm telling my son, this is what will be done and this is how we will do it. But being able to be vulnerable, to be able to speak of my overwhelm as a mother, as a working mother, to ask for cooperation. The moments when I would feel anger when I saw some shades of male entitlement or male domination, to be able to tune into my own hurt, which is systemic and probably doesn't belong to one particular gentleman, but to be able to speak about my longing to be seen, my longing for respect, my longing for equality. So that's this particular level speaks about when we are able to consciously choose, like you may catch yourself feeling anger, or you may catch yourself wanting to be submissive or dominate, but you're able to use a tool or a skill set that you've learned and practice it. It may even mean that in the moment you may end up muddling up, but when you go back, you do your NVC journaling, you speak to your mentor, and then you can come back and engage in the conversation differently. So that is capable. Does that make sense, friends? Okay. The fourth is integrated, naturally uses the skill with ease and flow, unconsciously competent. Now, the way this is described is acting from valuing everyone's needs and honoring each person's autonomy, transcending domination, submission, and rebellion. Now, I have a recent example to share with you all. I was facilitating an international group, which was based on which the genesis of that work was here and now and doing anti-oppression work. So I just noticed that there was this one particular gentleman. For 3 sessions, his Zoom was giving him trouble, and he kept dropping out. So he kept writing on the chat, but the group members didn't read his chat. They kept talking to each other, but his chat was somehow not seen. So as a facilitator, I just came in and I said that I'm recognizing that the group seems to be talking about wanting to include everyone. And I see how they are going and engaging with silent members. At the same time, I recognize that there's this one person here whose technology is giving him a tough time, and he has been writing something on the chat. I'm wondering, would it be okay for the group to just read what he's trying to say? Now, I had barely finished saying that, and one of the participants got really angry with me. He said, "What are you trying to do? You're trying to make us all look like villains, and you're just trying to set him up against us. His technology is not working. It's so frustrating. Do you get it?" For 15 minutes, he kept shouting at me. And in those 15 minutes, I noticed so many feelings in me. There's one part of me that was so scared. I said, "Oh my God, he's angry with me. What do I do now?" There was one part of me that was feeling angry. How dare he talk to me like that? I am the so-called facilitator here. And when I was able to just look at him and breathe, be aligned with my breathing, I recognized all I said was 2 lines. I said that, "Yeah, I'm hearing your disappointment, and I'm hearing your deep hurt. And I see how your need for understanding, safety, and learning were really not met in this moment." And I said, "Buddy, I'm seeing a wall right now in front of me, and I'm really wanting to connect with you, and I'm really needing some curiosity from you. So would you be willing to hear me, please?" That's it. And just by saying that, he had tears, and he's like, "Anisha, I recognize I'm overreacting, and I have no idea why. But just the way you're talking right now, my heart is opening up to you, and I'm also feeling some shame for talking the way I did." And post that, we were able to have a conversation where I was able to explain what was going on for me, and he was able to explain. So this, to my example, was this few moments, because I don't think I'm always able to operate from this space, but that was one of the few moments when I thought I was able to uphold my dignity, also uphold his dignity, and create a space of shared power. So is the matrix clear, friends, to everyone? And the 4 stages, are they clear to you all? Great. So now I have a small activity for you all. Think of a recent conflict that didn't go well because of power differences. And what I mean by power differences is anything, right from one person being able to express more easily, the other person not being able to express, or whatever the factors were that were causing one person to be the up and the other person to be the down in the relationship, just for that moment. And I request you to take something that's on a scale of 4, that's on a rank of 4 in terms of the intensity between 1 to 10. And then, in light of the skill of the shared power, I invite you to look at how did you see yourself and others operate? Did you experience one party as being the up and one party as being the down? Did you notice any presence of submission, domination, or rebellion? Introspect on your own feelings and needs, and also those of the others involved. And last, on retrospect, is there anything that you would have liked to do differently to move towards a space of more shared power? You can just take a snapshot, a photograph of this slide if you like it, friends.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to type it in the chat originally, but a picture would be better.
Can I stop the screen sharing? Can I stop the screen sharing, friends? Have you all taken the photo? Okay. I invite you all to please, Jen, I can't see you now suddenly, but if you can please help them to go into breakout rooms for 12 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jiti, I'm seeing your hand is raised. Just a minute, Jen. Yes, Jiti.
I have a question regarding this activity. So should there be the situation that we are up, would that be more useful than the situation that we are down, or it doesn't matter?
Thanks for clarifying and asking that question, Jiti. It doesn't matter. Jen, can you now please put them into breakout rooms?
Yes, so how many, would you like dyads or triads or what?
Dyads.
Okay.
Because
and
we just have 10 minutes,
yeah.
so we may not have more time. Yeah.
Yeah, and if someone does not want to be in a breakout, please put an equal sign in front of your name. And then just. And I'm considering, okay, 1 second. And you said 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
So I'm going to open
maybe
the
10
room.
minutes.
And
Jen,
there's a-
Jen, just 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. I'm just mindful of the time. Yeah. 10
Okay,
minutes.
so I'm going to open it now, and there's a few people I'm going to be putting in breakout rooms after they're open, just so I can be quicker. All right, here's all rooms. Okay. I noticed I do have a room that has 4. 1 second here. I'm just gonna go join room 3 quick where I have too many people to see if they want to be split up. I'll be right back.
Okay, I was in the room 4, the only one, and then someone else appeared and didn't want to show their face, and I'm not comfortable with someone in a breakout room without showing their face. So I'd like to be put in a breakout room where people are showing their face. So I left.
I'm sorry for causing this disturbance, really. I just got in and I didn't manage to put an sign, not being wanting to put in the breakout room.
Is there someone here who would like to chat with Sequoia in a breakout room?
I would like to be in a breakout room. This is Patricia.
All right, Patricia, so Sequoia can, she can't hear, but she can type. So I will send you there.
Hold on a second. No, I don't want that.
Okay. Is there someone who would like to be in a breakout room with Sequoia?
I'll go.
Thank you, Marlies. Appreciate that. And do you remember what room you were in before?
I might have been in 3. I was with somebody who didn't seem to be there. I didn't have a camera on.
Yep.
Or talk. So
Yeah. Oh, I found you. Okay. Move to room 8. There you go. Thank you. All right. So just checking now. I think I put the trainer in a breakout room too by accident. All right. So is there anyone else here who would like to go in a breakout?
I would like to go in a breakout.
Oh,
But
yes, thank you, Patricia.
someone who is present and who has their cameras on in their
Yeah,
not somebody without picture.
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see, move to. Okay, I'm gonna move you to room 10. Oh, I've got, shoot. All right. Isabel, would you like to go in a breakout room? I've got Paul in a room by himself. I'll send you there. All right, I'm just gonna, a second here. Patricia, was there no person, no camera?
No, there was a person there, but they didn't want me there. They were talking about a personal problem and they asked me to leave.
I'm sorry about
No
that.
problem. I mean, I'm not offended.
Jurgen, would you like to go in a breakout room with Patricia?
Actually, no, but if you could put me with Marta in a room, because we are hosting the next session.
Yes, I sure can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jim's here. Jim's here, and I wonder if you just like to share here for the recording, Patricia, what's coming up for you, and you're welcome to do that here with me if you would like in the time that we have left. you like to just share what's going on for you?
Yeah, is this on the recording?
Yes. Is that all right?
No.
It's fine. Okay.
In fact, I don't want to be in the recording. I'll stop my video. I can just stay here and not do anything, but I don't want
Right.
to be recording. I'll stop
Yeah.
that.
I love it when someone's willing to share for the recording, and I just got back, so thought I would ask. I'm not even sure what the request on the table is, so
All right.
thanks for your honesty, Patricia. I appreciate it.
And two, I'm noticing a few people may have come back because they may have been in a room by themselves. If that's the case, if you, let me just see how many minutes. We only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So yes, if someone wants to take Jim's invitation, that would help me just so I can,
So you can relax a little bit.
yeah, because it's, yeah, that I might need that. Thank you.
Just take a breath.
Yeah.
We can enjoy the silence as well. I can also pause the recording for a moment if someone wants to share something. Hey, Sudha.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
I've been traveling and trying to get bits and pieces of this, and so I'm on my way out to the airport right now.
Oh, wow.
And
You
it
really,
was not so great.
you're
Yeah.
jet setting around
I'm-
India. That's great. I'm glad to see you guys. Glad to see you here.
Yeah.
We've had a wonderful event.
I know. I'm going to be looking at the seeing the recordings. That's one blessing, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have some work
It's
ahead
not
of
the
me.
same as-
Trying to figure out how to do a little minor editing on 28 hours worth of video. I don't know what I set myself up for. I'm gonna ask for help again.
Are you going to be sending out recordings, Jim?
Yeah, we'll make a web page. It'll actually be on the web page for the Matrix book, which is pathways-to-liberation.com. And so we'll send out an announcement when things are ready. And it might trickle out as things get built. So I'll keep in touch with everybody that's registered. I think we had over 1,000 people register, Sudha.
Wonderful. I think you've really, 28 hours of nonstop sessions are commendable. I give lots of appreciation. Must have gone to huge amount of planning.
Well, it actually, I'm very impressed with how effortless it was. For me, it's a pure example of self-organizing systems. With just a couple of requests on my part, things just happened like magic. And I had very little, I did do work, of course, in the background, but it was just such a miracle to watch how it all unfolded.
And I think you've, for me, this is an example of acing the online system. And as an individual, I don't think I see other people. I haven't seen other people do this to the hilt, to the maximum, as much as is possible. So lots of appreciation about that too.
Thank you, Sudha. Back to you, Anisha, to finish up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. And we're running short of time, so I don't know if we can have 2 or 3 minutes. Popcorn sharing, or if you just want to write in the chat. Okay, I'm hearing some questions. How can we contact you? I'm so sorry that you didn't get to give your input. I'm apologetic about that because I'm just putting in my email ID. And I guess
if you would also put in the feedback form, that's another way folks can connect with Anisha. I'll make sure she gets any feedback that anyone wants to put into it's just a very brief form.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for stating that. And I'm just putting in a link for y'all friends. It's a poem by Robert Terry on Up and Down. The poem is called Up and Down. And I've recited it. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I loved narrating it. And I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this session as much as I did. I am right now full of gratitude, and I'm feeling calm in my body. And this session really met my needs, the contribution, for being seen, and for belonging to a community. So thank you so much, everyone. And thanks, Jim, for providing this opportunity. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. And I once again want to repeat this. My dear friends and NVCers from across the world, I request you all to please buy as many books as possible of Jim, which comes from a space of joy and wanting to contribute, because I'm sure you'll already know this book. Buying this book will contribute to CNBC. So thank you so much. Joe, I see your hand is raised.
Anisha, it is great to see you and hear you after the Sri Lanka IIT. So we have you, we have Jim and Jory, the four of us. Oh, that has been a great experience. And thank you for this wonderful presentation. I'll keep in touch with you. I know I'm on Facebook with you, but never discussed this, but will do. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, friends, for all the lovely strokes and kind appreciation. I'm reading all of that, and I just also want to. I'm mindful that maybe we just have a couple of more minutes, and I do want to say that I would have loved a lot more time with you all, but I recognize that the time is almost coming to an end, and I want to say that in a few minutes, Martha Kulaga will be offering our next session, focusing on transcending roles.
Thank you so much, Anisha, for volunteering your time and your energy and your love and your care to share your passion with us. I really appreciated learning with you today and look forward to taking our next steps together. I'm so lucky that Anisha is one of the candidates that I get to work with as an assessor. And she navigated power so skillfully in that situation, because I was doing my best to say no in giraffe. No, I don't really want to take a candidate in India. You know, I don't think I'm going back to India. You know, and then the pandemic hit, but no, you know, so my prediction might come true. But Anisha, she practiced something that Marshall called dogging for your needs, where she really spoke up in a non-blaming and non-demanding way until I shifted. And I am so glad I made that decision to work with you, Anisha. It's been an honor and a privilege, and Anisha is now in her pre-assessment process. So that's why she's so hungry for your feedback. She really wants to polish her skills so she can become the best trainer that she can be as she finishes up her journey. So thank you so much for being here, Anisha. And we will get started in about 2 minutes. So please take care of yourselves. And in this interim couple of moments, I want to just take a second to thank the support team that has been helping us to stay connected on Zoom. And I see Jürgen is here now. Thank you, Jürgen. It's great that you are here with us. I think you're in Europe, so it's like 6 o'clock in the morning for you. So thank you for getting up early to play with us today. And then Jan Palmer was here to support us. Tanya Lasuk, Catherine Cooley, Jen Franklin, who helped us in this last call, Lori Delaney, Jan Palmer, Lauren Pagliasotti, Anish Minan, and Wolfgang, and Rena, and Jory. And Eric. Eric's been, he never put his name on a list of support, but Eric's been here almost the whole time. And he met with me for many, seems like hours as we planned this event and tried to figure out the logistics. So Eric, I know you're not here probably right now, it says you're away, but couldn't have done it without you. Really appreciate your support. So in about 1 minute, we'll get started with Marta. So just take a breath and yeah, go ahead, Jen.
So first I need to be made host again so I can stop the recording and
I can do that. I can do that.
Oh, okay.